Hi, I'm Charles Patricelli, and as we've done in the past, we've had various speakers and guests on the WVLT show here. And today I am very honored to have two distinguished guests to come and talk about their experiences, and especially the experiences of Bobby DeChiro. Bobby and I also have Mike Breslin. Both served in Vietnam and will talk to each other today and talk about their experiences and what happened while they were in Vietnam. I do want to concentrate, though, on the achievements of our own Bobby DeChiro here in Watervliet. Bobby received the Silver Star in March 16th of 1966. He also received the Purple Heart, 2 Bronze Stars, the Republic of Vietnam Cross for Gallantry with a Palm Unit Citation, a Vietnam Service Medal, an Air Medal, the National Defense Service Medal, the Vietnam Campaign Medal, Combat Infantry's Badge, and the Parachute Badge. What I do want to do is, before we get started and meet both Bob and Mike Breslin, is I'd like to read something that was given to Bobby as far as his citation for the Silver Star in July 22nd, 1966. Bob received the Silver Star, the award of the Silver Star for gallantry in the Republic of Vietnam. For gallantry in action, Specialist 4 DeChiro distinguished himself on the 16th of March, 1966, while serving as a radio operator during a combat mission near, Phu Quyen, Republic of Vietnam. During an attack on an estimated Viet Cong regiment, Specialist 4 DeChiro ran forward of his perimeter to gather virtually needed ammunition which had been dropped from a helicopter. After returning to the perimeter, a sector was pinned down by intense Viet Cong fire. Specialist 4 DeChiro raced forward from the perimeter and threw a hand grenade into an insurgent machine gun emplacement. As a result, the Viet Cong emplacement was destroyed and fire superiority was gained over the hostile force. Through his courage and contributed immeasurably to the defeat of the attacking Viet Cong, Specialist 4 DeChiro's extraordinary heroism in close combat against a numerically superior hostile force was in keeping with the highest tradition of the military service and reflects the greatest credit upon himself, his unit, and the United States Army. It is my distinct honor and privilege both to have this interview here today and have a discussion with our own Bobby DeChiro. Thank you.
I'm honored to be here today with Bobby DeChiro, who's a very distinguished Vietnam veteran. I spent time in Vietnam a year or so after Bobby was there. Bob spent 2 years there, a lot of it with the 173rd Airborne and another part with the Special Forces, the United States Army. Bobby was over there at a time when most people didn't really know the war was going on. There was 66, and it went on for another decade after that. But that is when the fiercest fighting took place early on during Vietnam. So, Bobby, what units were you with, and how did you get there?
Well, I was with the 173rd at Okinawa, and we were on our way to, there again, I can't think, to another country with our weapons and whatnot, and we were getting ready to land, and he told us to lock and load, that we were going to be landing the Republic of Vietnam, and there's hostile fire on the ground. So we did, and we got out, and there was fire on the ground. So.
And you were an infantryman, basically.
Yes. Well,
and you had
111.
very Bravo 111, right?
Bravo 111.
Yeah, and then you took on assignment as a door gunner for a helicopter for quite some time.
Yes, I have. I've done that.
Tell me about what that was like.
Well, I sort of enjoyed, we used to circle the perimeter when troops were landing or being picked up, and I would dust the perimeter. I'd sadly say I used to kill water buffalo and things of that nature just to sort of starve the people.
But you were the guy in the emergencies. When someone had to be picked up that was injured, or someone had to be dropped into a situation, or you needed to drop ammo or anything else in there, you were the guy that had to respond to the enemy fire.
Yes, we received a lot of fire. A lot of our choppers were shot down, but yes, we were basically the first ones there.
And you were the guy that consoled some of the guys that were lifted out, too.
Yes, I did. I remember one time carrying a little boy out, and what happened was he reached for my grenade, and I remember, I don't know if I could say this, but a lieutenant sort of shot him right there when he took my grenade out of my thing. And that thought stayed with me for quite a few years. The boy couldn't have been no more than 10. But we were fighting women, boys, kids. And every time you landed on one of those landing zones, it was open game. Whoever was there was
You didn't know.
right.
You never knew who it was going to be out there, whether they were armed or not, and if so, what they were armed with, and what was their intention.
And if they're on our side or their side or what side, we were told to just go in and clean house.
And I know that a lot of people have this misconceived notion that you just flew around and it was only in those times when you got into the firing and the attack one or another that were the real tense times. But I know that it was tense all the time because you never knew when that was coming.
True. And that's just the way life is now. Today, I don't know when it's going to stop. I'm happy, and I'm anticipating when's this all going to stop. When am I not going to be happy no more? That's part of, I think, Vietnam.
Yeah.
Because whenever it happened, it just happened.
And then after that, you had a second tour and you were with the Special Forces. Tell us about how that assignment was.
Well, I was a tunnel rat. There'd be rice, I remember, and we'd pitch with the bayonets onto the rice. And underneath the rice was where the tunnels were. And usually what I used to do was grenade first, then bob. I wasn't, but you go into those tunnels and you go in, say, 10, 15 feet, then it would just open up to like a hospital or, an amazing place. And I've killed several Viet Cong under there with a pistol. And when we left the village, we used to burn it down, kill the sympathizers, everyone who was, even not the sympathizers, whoever didn't give up, we killed. And there'd be snakes in there. I'm talking 6-7 foot snakes inside the bamboo huts that I remember. There'd be these little snakes they would call crepes that if you had gotten bit by one, you had like 7 seconds to live. That I remember one time Sergeant Winds shot a few rounds off behind me because one of those snakes was right at my feet. The monsoon season was just rain.
It was a sea of mud.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it just rained for 6-7 months, and the heat was terrible. Mosquitoes, bugs. They had wild pigs they used to attack, come at you at night, and then everybody should open up and let it burst go. But I didn't want to shoot because they would see where the fire was coming from. So I would just wait till the last second before I would empty my clip on them, or whoever was there. I also remember having several bodies on that one occasion Charlie was talking about. Mr. Patrick Sully shot on the Silver Star where I was forward of the perimeter, and the bodies were just stacking up in front of me, and they were jumping over each other, coming at me. There's no
That's a tough time. Let's take a break here. I know we were talking before about your sympathy for the guys that are going over to Iraq and Afghanistan now and what they go through. And you know that when we came back, there wasn't much sympathy for us. But you go to the VA regularly to see these people. Tell me about your thoughts about the ones that you see over there.
My heart bleeds for them. I push them around in their wheelchairs. They're young fellas with missing limbs, other fellas with their minds shot like mine. Uh, we go to the smoke room and they're bumming cigarettes, and they're pretty much twisted up. They're lost, and there's no help for them.
Well, there is a lot of help that you bring to them and others over there, and some of them make significant progress. I know that, and you know that.
Yes.
Not all of them, but I know that you feel that from what you have seen, you can bring some comfort to these guys, and you do.
Yes, I do. When I first returned from Vietnam, I had no emotions. I was a bitter person, and I see that in a lot of these fellows coming home today, that they're being in combat, being in situations like that, and watching their buddies get killed. It sort of takes a lot out of you. It takes your emotions away. It takes something away from you that you left over there. And there's no telling when that's going to come back, if it ever comes back.
There is a huge tension going on all the time over there because they never know who's friend or foe. Wherever they're going, they don't know where they're going to get shot at from or who's going to be shooting grenades or artillery at them. So it isn't simply the physical wounds, it's that constant tension.
There again, that carries back to when you return home as to when is it going to stop? When is it going to start again? When you're happy, when are you going to stop being happy? I'm waiting for it to all be taken away from me. I'm happily married. I have lovely children. I tell this to my psychiatrist. I tell this to my psychologist. You know, when is this going to stop? It's too good to be true. Just like walking down a road in the jungle, and you don't know when you're going to get hit. It just comes.
Well, I'll tell you what, there's a lot of us in this community, particularly up here in Waterville Elite, who recognize who you are and of what you've done. And many people think, oh, you have a bunch of medals. But you have 2 Bronze Stars, you have a Purple Heart, and you have that Silver Star. That Silver Star, which is the 3rd highest award for gallantry the United States can award. After the Congressional Medal of Honor and the Distinguished Service Cross comes the Silver Star. No one can appreciate what you were under that day when you went out to retrieve the ammo to save your buddies and all of us in this community. Salute you, Bobby, for your tremendous service for the country. And you have a wonderful story not only of what you did in service for your country, but what you continue to do to go over and share your experiences and give a hand to those returning veterans who so desperately need it. I know the whole community joins me in saluting you for what you've done for all of us. And I want to thank you for being here today to talk with me, and it's been an honor.
My pleasure.
Keep on going, Dave.
Nice to meet you, Michael.
My pleasure.
For you veterans that have post-traumatic stress, there's a beautiful program in Northampton, Mass, Ward 8, that deals primarily with post-traumatic stress victims, where we discuss decision-making, anger management, the opportunity to be able to count to 10 when something happens. A loud noise triggers us. We are hypervigilant. And these are not things that easily go away. It's like back in the old days, they called it shell shocked. We're going to find the answer for it. Thank you.
And when that answer comes, a major part of it will be people like Bobby DeChiro, who goes out to talk to those veterans who need someone who understands who they are, what they've been through, and will assist them to get to that better place. And I know you've been doing that regularly, Bobby. Thanks. We all appreciate that.
Thank you, Mike, and thank you for your service. And welcome home.
Welcome home, babe. Yes.